Today on the channel, our Jakks Classic Deep Dives continue with Jakks Deluxe Classic Superstars Series 5. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Jakks Classic Superstars review, a Tuesday staple here on the channel for about 2 years now, if you can believe that. But today we're back to Jakks Deluxe Classic Superstars, and we're looking at Series 5. As usual, Toys R Us exclusive. These would always be announced on, Wrestling Figures board, like a lot of the other lines I've always talked about, especially the Toys R Us exclusives. There'd be a post that, hey, I found this on California, whatever day it was. And as usual, I knew about a week to 2 weeks later on Friday, they would be hitting my local Toys R Us. And as I always say in your toy hunting adventures, know the patterns of your local stores. I don't care if it's Toys R Us, sad, Walmart, Target, whatever. Know when they get their trucks in. You got to haunt those stores for a couple of weeks, find out the patterns, and you too can be a successful toy hunter like I was with these way back in the day. So Series 5, like we talked a little bit about Series 4, some of the heavy hitters have been passed up. They already made them, or they weren't making them, Macho Man's, Ricky Steamboat's of the world. So we were getting some of the more C-list and maybe D-list to some people in Series 5. And that's some of the magic that's lost. And if you guys think of toy lines historically, not a lot of toy lines are like our wrestling series lines that go on for hundreds of series. A lot of stuff, fail out at line 7, line 8. Of an extension. That's the end of the road. There's not a lot that go on forever because the assortments, the popularity of the assortments start to wane, start to, go south, basically. We don't see that with wrestling like we do in other lines. But we definitely started to see that in some of these wrestlers that we got in Series 5. So without any further ado, let's jump into it. Let's do it like we usually do. Let's go item by item through Series 5. All right, we kick off Series 5 of the Jakks Deluxe Classic Superstars, the Toys R Us exclusives, with Jim the Anvil Knightheart. Of course, a Hall of Famer in the WWE. Jim Knightheart, part of the Hart Foundation with Bret Hitman Hart. A lot of love for Jim Knightheart, a lot for him. But that being said, yes, he's a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have kind of the aura of a Ric Flair, a Hulk Hogan, an Undertaker, a Shawn Michaels. You get the point where I'm going. I still like Jim Knightheart. Of course, we do complete Bret Hart with him later on, and we'll get to that one in future videos. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit your notification bell. You don't want to miss one of these Jakks Class Superstars videos. But Jim Knightheart, we get with Bret Hart, so we do complete the team, thankfully, as that doesn't always happen in the Classic Superstar line, as you guys know. But there's the packaging on Jim Knightheart. Always found this Jim a little weird. His head scan is really good. It's a good screaming sculpt. It looks like him a lot. He's got the pink and black attack going on here, of course. But just a little bit off, I would say, on this one. Just Jim, the body size, just a little bit small, where it's funny as the Deluxe Aggression figures, people usually don't like them because they look so big. Well, Jim's case, he looks a little bit small, maybe a little bit too tall compared to your average Deluxe Classic figure. But we get the usual stuff. We get the Jim Knightheart on the side. We get the little star here. This was always bad, too, because this star is hard enough to keep straight and not get bent up and damaged. But then they have this star down here. I don't know if we've ever talked about that. This one can get damaged the same way. So sometimes you'll find this one beat up and this one perfect and vice versa. It was very difficult to find two that matched that were good. And especially when stores were only getting 1 or 2 cases of these, boy, it really was keep your fingers crossed. And that's how it went. And then you got another one over here as well I didn't mention. But Jim Knightheart, Series 5. Jim Knightheart doing his patented karate kicks on the side of the package. Man, he was a ninja master. So you got Knightheart there. Of course, the back, we got the big glamour shot. We got a big picture of his face there. Like I said, pretty good head sculpt I always thought on that Jim Knightheart. He looked good to me. There's the rest of his stable mates in Series 5. We're going to go one by one through those. We got a little blurb. We got UPCs. We got warnings. We got all that stuff down below. Let's dig into it. Let's dig into old Jim Knightheart. What's it say? 281 pounds, 6'2", finishing move, the Anvil Flattener. And that's it. Nothing else to be said about Jim Knightheart, unfortunately. Very interesting pose. They got him in there showing off the graphics. I think he should have just been in his ninja pose, his patented ninja pose. But there it is, Jim Knightheart. Beautiful pink and black attack. It's not one of those overbearing Hart Foundation outfits. Not that there's anything wrong with those. I like those, but it's just a regular version of Jim Knightheart from his Hart Foundation days. So there it is, Jim the Anvil Knightheart. Let's take a look at the next one. All right, next up, we got a guy that is buff, and he is also the stuff. It is Buff Bagwell, and actually no stranger to the Classic Superstars line, as we did get a regular version of Buff Bagwell in the past. So interesting, though, to get him in this set, as we're 5 sets in, not a ton of characters. So getting a little WCW guy in here was a good thing. I just don't know if the majority of people wanted Buff Bagwell, and I remember a lot of people really griping at the time that Buff Bagwell was in this line. He has to be one of the most hated wrestlers of all time just because people just don't like him. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. But an okay figure. This isn't one that set the world on fire by any means, if you ask me. But it is what it is. It is Buff Bagwell. WCW represented. He does come with his nice top hat, his patented top hat. We do get the ring skirts behind us. That is consistent with the Deluxe Classic line, of course. Nice red attire, where I believe his regular Classic was black attire, if I remember correctly. So at least we get a little point of difference there. But Buff Bagwell in the line, a little bit of a surprise, as we all said. You got his name on the side there. Love the orange. You know it's Classic Superstars, but it's got a little bit of a twist to it. Same package size. That's what I like. That's how all lines should be, in my eyes at least. Then we got all of his moves he can do on the side, of course, that we always see. And then you got Buff Bagwell Glamour Shot. Get to the back, you get that same Glamour Shot. You get the old red tights there. Look at that big shadow. What a shadow Buff Bagwell has on him. You get the rest of the line down below. Warnings, UPCs. Then we got a very small blurb on him. Classic Superstars logo as well. Let's see what it says about old Buff. Let's see what kind of stuff he's up to. Weight, 247 pounds, 6'1". Finishing move, the old Buff Blockbuster. Just quite the guy. I remember him back in the day as the Handsome Stranger. That's how far I go back with old Buff Bagwell. But I can't say he's been one of my all-time greats. I can't say he's one that really needed to be in Series 5. I think he's more of a Series 10 guy, or 11 if it would have went that far. That's just me, but, you know, your mileage may vary. But there it is. Buff Bagwell. All right, next up, very fitting for Series 5, is the man with the self-high five. We've got Diamond Dallas Page, another WCW figure in this line, which is interesting, and another one that did have a Classic Superstars figure, just like Buff Bagwell did from WCW as well. So very interesting with the WCW love shown to the Classic Superstars. And a lot of people do hate the Diamond Dallas Page from the Classic Superstars. I love it. For whatever reason, I'm weird. You guys, I always say, you like what you like, you don't what you don't. That's just me. But I do love that Jakks Classic Superstar. I love the head scan on that Diamond Dallas Page. A lot of people say it doesn't look like him, it's too big. Guess what? Kyle still loves it. I'm all in on it. But this one's not bad either, and I like that they gave us a different version of Diamond Dallas Page, where that was more, felt like the other Classic Superstar was WWF, WWE Diamond Dallas Page. This feels 100% WCW Diamond Dallas Page. So you got the WCW title there, ring skirt in the background. More DDP with his long hair looking like his WCW days. Just very solid. Of course, the Classic Superstar at the top. We're used to that. His name on the side. We got the stars all over the place. And then, of course, he's doing his patented karate kicks. His yoga kicks nowadays. Glamour shot there. And then you get the back, of course. UPC's warnings at the bottom. The cross-sell of the line. We got the blurb we'll read here in a second. And then we got DDP on the back. Very good Diamond Dallas Page. I do love the Jakks head scans on Diamond Dallas Page, as I said earlier. I like that other one, and I like this one just as much. So very good head scans on old Diamond Dallas. Weight, 253 pounds. Height, 6'5". Finishing move, the old Diamond Cutter. You never know when that might get you. Be careful there. Series 5, though, Diamond Dallas Page, got to say, a very strong one. And it's really the anti-Buff Bagwell. I felt like this one was deserved to be in Series 5, or Buff Bagwell, we could have probably went without him. But Diamond Dallas Page making his triumphant entrance into the Deluxe Classic universe in Series 5. We got one left. Let's check him out. All right, and our final figure in this lineup here is Superfly Jimmy Snuka, one of the most iconic wrestlers of all time. I think as time has went on, Jimmy Snuka is more looked at like, almost like Iron Sheik is looked at, kind of. You know, everybody knows the name, but they don't understand how big of a character he was during his heyday. He's right up there. If you ask my aunt, and you know, my aunt, a lot older than me, but younger than my parents, let's say. So somewhere in the middle, somewhere, you know, a generation above me. When you say, hey, list some popular wrestlers, they list Hulk Hogan, of course, Roddy Piper, but they also list Iron Sheiks, and Jimmy Superfly Snukas. And Jimmy Snuka was a big, big deal for me. Getting to start watching wrestling, around WrestleMania 3 time frame. He came back to the WWE as a big deal, but it wasn't as big of a deal as he was in the earlier 80s and the 70s, of course. He was almost looked at like a Tito Santana, a guy everybody knew, but you never knew you knew he wasn't going to win the title. He wasn't going to win the Intercontinental title during that time frame. But you go way back, late 70s, 80s, he was a serious contender for a lot of things and a very, very popular wrestler. I think some of it is some of his personal issues that have come to light once again. He did die recently, unfortunately. His daughter wrestling for WWE currently. But him about maybe being involved in a death and stuff and all that kind of stuff doesn't go very well with your spot in the future and your spot of getting more figures down the line. Chris Benoit is a perfect example. Chris Benoit is a personal favorite figure wrestler of mine of all time. I mean, I absolutely loved Chris Benoit. He was my favorite wrestler at the time of him being ECW, actually. ECW all the way till his demise. He was my favorite active wrestler. So very, very tough on that whole situation. And Superfly, a lot of people put him in the same boat. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. I'm not here to judge all that. But Superfly is a figure a lot of people wanted. And Jimmy Snuka is one a lot of people want in Mattel. And unfortunately, I don't foresee that ever happening again. We did get a very early Legends version of Jimmy Snuka, and he was in the boots instead of the bare feet, very similar to this one. The reason Mattel did that is because, hey, they wanted to set themselves apart from the Jakks Classic Superstars. They wanted to give a different type of figure, and that's exactly what they did with Jimmy Snuka. They gave him the boots. And knowing what we know now, I guarantee you Mattel would have said we wouldn't have put him in boots. They would have given him his most iconic gear if they knew that was their only chance to make his figure. But this one was a little bit retailer exclusive, a little bit under the wire, or under, not everybody knew about the Deluxes. Not everybody had a Toys R Us in their neighborhood, so not everybody got these like they did the traditional line that went to the Walmarts, the Targets, online. You get the point. So a little bit of a story about this Jimmy Snuka, I guess. I just want to put that out there. But it's a very good Snuka because I like this one being in the boots. Obviously not his most iconic, but definitely a cool look for Jimmy Snuka. Got his headband going on, and then he always looked amazing in the body. Obviously the earlier years, not the later years, because he wrestled till he was very, very old, as we all know. But he had a heck of a body here, and it really does translate over to action figure form. Has the ring skirt behind him as well. Got the name right there, the stars, all that. He's doing his karate kicks on the side. And then you got his glamour shot there. And then the back of the package, there's old Jimmy Snuka. Look at that. I love that shadow in the back, the Class Superstars logo. You got the UPC, you got the warnings, you got the cross-sell going on, and then you got Jimmy Snuka looking only like he could look. Let's see what it says about the old Fiji native. 240 pounds, height 5'10", finishing move, the Superfly Splash. And not much more iconic of a finisher back in the day. You knew when Jimmy Snuka went up, he threw up the old I love you. Business was picking up, and he was jumping off a cage, he was jumping off the ring post, he was jumping off a bed. Who knows what Jimmy Snuka was up to? But very, very interesting. Obviously, if this was today's day and age, like we see with Mattel, Jimmy Snuka would not be made. But back in 2007, what do we got here? 2008, I was close. 2008, all hands aboard the Jimmy Snuka train is what Jakks was saying, and that's why he was in Deluxe Classic Series 5. Deluxe Classic Series 5, an interesting one as well. Only 4 figures. Not sure who the 5th figure was supposed to be. I don't know if that was ever released or why it was canceled, but for whatever reason, we only got 4 here in Series 5. So there's another little footnote to the Deluxe Classic Series 5. So there it is, another classic video under our books. Number 6 will be at us next week. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, thumbs up this video. Feel free to share it. We're doing Classic Superstars every week. How about every week on the channel? Maybe one day every day, but every week on the channel. So make sure you subscribe and tell a friend. There you go. But Jakks Deluxe Classic Superstars Series 5, a fun one. We'll be back next week with Deluxe Classic Series 6, so be ready for that. So for Deluxe Series 5, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.